Hello everyone and welcome back to another episode of Gizmo Joe. Today we're going to be taking a look at a wireless mouse, specifically the HP Z or Z, depending on where you're from, 3700 or 3700. It is a wireless mouse that is pretty slim, and obviously you can see that it uses a 2.5 gigahertz wireless dongle as opposed to Bluetooth. But the reason why I picked this guy up was because he was super cheap. So this particular mouse was $9. From what I could tell, here in Australia, it normally retails for about $30. So places like Officeworks, those sort of big box stores, sell this guy for about $30. I got it from Centercom for $9. I don't know if that's a regular price or if it was just on sale or whatever, but I saw it and I said, you know what, I need an extra wireless mouse for work because at work I'm using one with a cord and it drives me nuts. So I figured I'd pick it up. Now, obviously, the box that it came in, or the packaging, is pretty bare bones, but let's just take a look at it quickly. So on the front here, it's basically saying that it's a blue LED optical sensor, which is pretty good because it means that it's going to be able to read on most surfaces, although I doubt it works on glass. It says here it's got 16-month battery life, or up to 16-month battery life. That's pretty good. Like we said before, it's a 2.4 gigahertz wireless sort of dongle, and it's got a slim design. It's not the slimmest mouse I've ever seen in my life, but it is pretty slim. You could probably fit that in a laptop bag or a case or a backpack or whatever without any difficulties whatsoever. On the bottom here, we've just got some, UPC codes and stuff like that. In the back here, basically the same sort of stuff that we were talking about before. It's got a 1-year limited warranty, and it says fast and accurate with 1200 DPI optical sensors. What's inside? Looks like we've got the mouse itself, obviously the dongle. Looks like it gives you a battery, so that's pretty good. And you've got some documentation and stuff, I'm sure a warranty card, all that sort of stuff. System requirements basically just says that you need to have a free USB port, obviously, and it's compatible with Windows, Macs, and Chrome OS. So, yeah, pretty basic, bare bones sort of mouse, but yeah, let's crack this guy open. Now, this is probably going to be one of these blister packs that is incredibly difficult to open, so I'll be back because I don't want to cut myself. Okay, so as you can see, the packaging was a pain to open, even with my trusty box cutter. I had to essentially absolutely destroy this thing to get everything out, but I'm glad I spared you having to watch that because it was kind of embarrassing. Anyway, let's take a look at what was actually in the box. So like we said before, it's got some documentation. So we've got essentially the warranty stuff. It's got a manual, not that you'd probably need this at all, but let's see what it shows us here. Okay, so it's got a battery indicator on the mouse itself, so that's handy. And it looks like as well for storage, you can lift open the battery compartment and slot the USB in there. So that's good. So it helps you to prevent it from being lost or whatever. You got to turn it on, obviously. And that's pretty much it. So just a little pictogram, sort of an IKEA-inspired instruction manual. And let's see what we got here. This is just product notices. I don't know what that means. Probably never going to take a look at that. It came with a battery, so obviously it's a AA. Gave you an Energizer as opposed to like one of those no-name brands, so I appreciate that. We've got our 2.4 gigahertz dongle. It's bright blue, which I guess is good because if you have this plugged into a machine that has a whole bunch of other USBs plugged into it, you know exactly which one your mouse is. So I guess that's handy. And then we've got the mouse itself. So let's just put this off to the side for a second and take a look at the mouse. So it is pretty thin. I have to say it's a mouse. It sort of feels comfortable, I guess. It's got that curvature to it. Offers, I guess, a bit of support, sort of. But look, I'm not super impressed with the build quality. It's super shiny up on the top here. You can probably see that. All my lights are reflecting. And to me, it sort of looks a bit cheap. It's incredibly lightweight, which again is probably a good thing. You don't want an overly heavy mouse, but this is just all plastic, nothing special about it. You've got your connect button down at the bottom here. I don't think that's really necessary. Every time I've ever used one of these, USB mice, it just works automatically. I've never really had to connect it, but the button's there if you need it. I am not entirely sure how to open this. I'm assuming we just slide it down. I guess I probably should have looked at that little IKEA instruction manual a little bit better. But This sort of reminds me of the hard drive enclosure I bought not long ago and did a review on, and how incredibly difficult it was to open this. I'm going to be right back. I'm going to see if I can open this without breaking. Okay, after consulting the manual that I said I probably wouldn't read, it actually doesn't slide down. You basically pry it open. So, if you don't have fingernails, it might be a little bit difficult, but you find, and it just pops right off. So obviously here's the battery compartment, and basically you've got a little spot for the USB receiver, and we've got our battery compartment here. So it says that this needs to be slotted in this way, just like so. Remove that. Take this guy, pop these arms back where they belong, and then it just snaps on. It doesn't feel like it snaps very securely, but I guess it's okay. And then turning it on, and we've got our blue. I think you guys saw that. Let's try it again. Yeah, so we've got the blue LED light there. And yeah, I am not super impressed with this mouse, but for $9, I'm pretty happy with it. Like I said, I just wanted something at work that was wireless, and this was probably the cheapest one that I could find. That was actually a decent brand. So obviously this is made by HP, and they've got a good track record. You can find really, really cheap mice, especially at places like Officeworks. They got their home brand stuff, but I find that a lot of that stuff is very cheaply made. Like I said, this is cheap. It's plastic. It is what it is, but it does feel somewhat solid. Let's just quickly test the buttons. The buttons aren't overly clicky, so if you're somebody who likes a bit of travel on their mouse buttons, this may not be the one for you, but again, it's a slim model, so I could expect that. There is a little bit of tactile response when I click each button, but not much. There's not a lot of give, and it's pretty quiet, although you could probably hear it if I stop talking. Here. So yeah, so it's got a bit of a click to it, but I mean, if you're at work or in an office or something like that, I highly doubt anybody will really notice that. The track wheel does have a sort of rubberized feel to it, which I guess is good because it gives a little bit of extra tactile grip. Feels pretty good. It does sort of have that clicky sort of wheel. And then you've got your third mouse click in there as well, and that feels pretty standard. So look, it's a standard mouse, but that's the HP Z3700 or Z3700, however you want to say it. They normally retail for about $30 Australian. I picked this up at Centercom for $9. I'll leave a link down in the description in case you want to pick one up as well. But for $9, I'm pretty happy with that purchase. Anyway, that's going to do it for today. Thanks for watching this video. I'll be back again with another video soon. This is Gizmo Joe signing off.